Hello everybody, I am at home and I wanted to film a little recap video about Malta. As you can see, my mood is a little bit somber. I have post-holiday blues, like mega. But today I've been reflecting on my holiday and I just wanted to share some thoughts that I had about it. First of all, I had the best time ever, as I'm sure you saw if you watched my vlogs. Malta is amazing. It's so friendly, it's so relaxed, it's pretty cheap, honestly, as well. The water is so clear. It was 30 degrees every day and I just had the best time. So if you're thinking of going, then just go. I'm definitely going to go back. I love solo travel just for the confidence that it gives me, making me realize that I can rely on myself and I don't need somebody else. I don't need to wait for somebody to be with me to do any of these amazing things. I can go and do them by myself. And on this trip, this became even more apparent to me because I think the first solo trip I did was to Berlin, it was like 4 days long. It was a city break. So I think when you're in a city and you're only there for a few days, you kind of go to all of the main tourist bits and then that's it. Whereas this was a longer trip. I was there for a week and it was more of a beach vibe and you kind of had to go a little bit further afield to find anything to do. And yeah, so I'd done the city thing and I really thought, okay, I'm going to a beachy place. I don't know this place. I don't know the culture. I don't know the language. So I'm probably not going to have any of the kind of experiences that I've had previously on similar holidays where I go out and I explore and I find loads of cool little places and have some really awesome experiences. I just kind of thought because I'm on my own, I'm not going to drive there, that I won't be able to do very much. I actually was thinking I'm just going to stay at the hotel for 7 days. I forgot who I am. So I really pleasantly surprised myself because I was barely at the hotel at all. I went out hiking. I went and I just walked everywhere. I could have got the bus if I wanted to, but I found that so many places were accessible on foot and I love walking anyway. So I did that really easy. I had lots of fun and nice little encounters with people who I met along the way, who just I had a chat with, or who pointed me in the right direction, or just told me about other cool things that were happening in the town during the length of my stay. I went out for a nighttime walk, which I love doing that when I go to other countries. I love walking around at night and seeing. There's just something magical about a country at nighttime. And I didn't think I would have the courage to go out by myself, or I thought, maybe it's not safe or something. But I did it. I did it twice, and it was so nice and just so chill, and I didn't feel unsafe at all. And I'm just so glad that I got to do that because I love doing that when I go abroad. I left my stuff on the beach and I went swimming in the sea a couple of times, and that was another thing I thought I'm probably not going to get to do because I had worries around just leaving my stuff on the beach and going swimming, but I did it. And I went on a boat trip and I just did whatever I wanted and I went wherever I wanted and I saw so many cool places and I didn't feel restricted at all. So now I just feel even more confident in myself because this was the one thing that I thought, I don't want to drive in another country and I've got nobody with me who's going to drive me around, so I'm not going to see any of these cool places, but I saw so many just by walking around. I also feel like I had that confidence to get the bus and to go a little bit further afield. But to be honest with you, I didn't feel like I had to, because there was so much in the area that I could walk to. So it wasn't even like, oh, I'm scared to get the bus or I'm scared to go further out. I would have done that. And when I go back, that's what I'm going to do. It just builds your confidence so much when you go somewhere by yourself and you do things that you didn't think you were going to do. And this leads me into my other point, which is I realized from this trip that my anxieties around traveling or around trying new things in general, they are not who I am. They are not me, and they are not real. They are just a product of the way that I was brought up. They are just other people's voices in my head, people saying, don't do that, that's not safe, what if this happens, what if that happens. Like, I had all of these thoughts in my head before this trip, and this was actually a reason that I almost didn't go on it, because I was freaking out about the idea of being on my own on an island that I don't know. So I almost didn't go on this trip, but I wanted to. I just thought, I can't let this stupid, irrational fear get in the way. And every single thing that I was worried about in the beginning, it was completely unfounded. When I got there, there was just no reason to be anxious about anything. Even things like, I really wanted to go swimming at sunrise, and I found this, it's in one of the vlogs, but it was just this big concrete slab with steps leading down into the sea, and I kept passing it every day, and I saw people putting their stuff there and going swimming, and people who were on their own as well, and I said, I want to do that. So I went there one morning, 6:30 a.m, and there was just me and these two Italian guys with a young kid, and they left their stuff there and they went swimming. And so I felt like, okay, I can do the same. And I said, I'm just going to stay, like, I'm not going to go all the way out, but I'm just going to stay around this concrete slab area and I'm going to go swimming. And I did. And I wouldn't have done that if I hadn't felt safe. But I did. I felt safe. I felt like, look, other people are doing this. It's fine. Nothing is going to happen. And I just did it. And I had the best time. And there were lots of little incidents like this where I just did what I wanted to do, despite the fact that I was anxious about it in the beginning. And everything was fine. And it just made me realize, when you have anxious thoughts, they are not real. And they are not who you are. They are the voices of other people in your head telling you things. They are not actually true. So it just gave me a lot more, I guess, clarity around that, because I always, you always hear people saying things like that, like, your anxiety isn't real. But it's not until you're actually in this situation that you are anxious about and you're like, this is absolutely fine, that you fully realize this is not true. It's just a thought, and your thoughts are not necessarily true. So there we go. So I'm just so happy that I went on this trip. I'm so happy I went on this trip. I love going places by myself, and every time I do it, I just feel like I love myself even more, because I have that confidence in myself. And the more that I do things by myself, the more respect I have for myself, and the less likely I am to... I think this is generally why it's so important to be comfortable on your own, just in general, but not necessarily a holiday. But I am far less likely to accept shitty friendships or shitty relationships, because I don't need it. I don't need people in my life for the sake of being in my life, because I'm so content on my own. So I'm not, desperate for friends. It's not like, oh, if I don't have friends, then I'm not going to do anything. If I don't have a partner, then I'm not going to do anything. I need a partner. I need friends to be able to have experiences. If you're comfortable on your own, then you don't need anybody. So the only people that you're going to accept into your life are people who are actually good for you and who actually enrich your life. And that's why I love solo travel so much, because it just makes me really just realize that, like, oh, I don't need to wait for a man to go on holiday, for example. I can do this right now by myself. Another thing I want to talk about quickly is my vision board, because this year I started making vision boards. I've done it like 3 months at a time, so like quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4, and this was quarter 3, so this was the summer, and I basically save images on Pinterest and then I make them into a vision board on Canva, and then I put that as my laptop background, and I put it as my, well, I don't put it as my phone background, but I put it on my phone so that I can look at it every day. And if you don't do this, you should really start doing it, because things manifest in a way that you won't even realize that they're manifesting. It's so crazy. And I just wanted to share this because I put a few pictures relating to Malta on my vision board because I knew that I wanted to go. And there are 3 pictures that relate to Malta. Okay, all of them kind of manifested, but in different ways. So the first one was the most, I guess, conscious one, which was the vision board picture is of a woman standing underneath an arch. And to find all of these pictures, by the way, all I typed in is Malta woman. I didn't type in the location or anything like that, just Malta woman. So it's a woman standing underneath an arch looking up. And these pictures were also just meant to represent me feeling happy and having a good time in Malta, by the way. When I got to the town centre in Melilla, I saw an arch in the parish church with this beautiful view behind it, and I said, oh, I found the arch in my vision board. So I went and I took the vision board picture. So that was the first one. It wasn't the same arch, obviously, but that was a situation where I recognised that's from my vision board, and so I want to take the picture. The second one is a little bit crazier. Well, it's not crazy because obviously the reason that these things manifest is because your subconscious, because they're looking at these pictures all the time, it recognises it when it sees it in real life, or it seeks it out without you noticing. So it's not actually crazy. But I didn't realise this, and I didn't do this on purpose. The second one is of a woman sat on a balcony in a towel looking out to sea. And again, this was just supposed to represent me feeling relaxed on holiday, having a great time. Well, I took this picture on my hotel balcony. I wasn't thinking about the vision board picture. I had actually completely forgotten that this was even on my vision board, and I hadn't looked at my vision board for weeks, actually. But I took this picture, and it was only when I looked back at my vision board the other day, I realised, oh, that's that picture. The third one, this is probably the craziest one, because this picture actually didn't make the cut of my final vision board. This one actually stayed on Pinterest, but I didn't put it on my actual vision board. But again, all I typed in was Malta woman. I saved this picture, and I was looking back at my Pinterest folders the other day, and I came across this picture, and I'll put it here. It's a woman in Malta with a beach behind her, looking happy. And I looked at this picture and I said, I bet you I've been to that place. Whatever place this is that she's standing, I bet you I've been there. And so I zoomed in on the beach, and I was like, oh my God. And then I looked at the tags, and it said Blue Lagoon. So I had been to the Blue Lagoon. I recognised that horribly crowded, overly touristic beach in the picture. I've been there. And that is just crazy to me, because just think about it, all I typed in was Malta, woman. Of all of the pictures, of all of the beaches, what are the chances that I save one of a place that I'm gonna go to, you know? I actually went to this place, and it wasn't even Malta, it was Camino, the little island. So it's just the fact that I said, I bet you I've been there, because I have faith in this now. I have faith in how these things manifest. There are so many things like this on my vision board that I've put the pictures there and I've forgotten about them, and then they've come true. And some of them have come true in a really obvious way, and others have come true in a way that I just didn't expect. I just wanted to share that because I just found it so funny. Pretty much everything on my summer vision board has manifested, and now I'm working on my October, November, December one. Make a vision board if you haven't, and whatever you want to show up in your life, it will show up in your life. Back to normal life now. I really want to do a vlog of a week in my life, just because I really like looking back on old vlogs and seeing how my life was. It's just a lot. I might start with a day in my life and then progress to a week in my life. I've got such a busy week coming up, such a busy few weeks, so it's definitely not going to be anytime soon, but I'm saying it, I'm putting it out there. It's in the plan. Goodbye.